So we're here with Brad, one of the main commentators here at Oliver's Mount. It's a bit of a wet and foggy and just there kind of weekend.
I think you summed it up perfectly there, to be honest. The mist coming in from the sea, the rain, it's not boding well for the rest of the day at the moment. But what can you do? Fingers crossed it clears up.
I mean, it's been a brilliant Barry Sheene weekend up until this point so far, right?
No, absolutely. The racing, have been great. The guys in the paddock, they're great guys. It's great to see them, out there on circuit doing what they love most. And yeah, it's just a shame about the weather at the moment. But yeah, like yourself, I've been around the paddock and having a few words with the guys, seeing what they make of it. But they're enjoying themselves. We're having a good time. It's what we're here for.
Well, this is it. I mean, you have the best view of anyone here in the commentary box. Take us through a usual weekend for you here at Oliver's Mount whilst commentating.
Get some breakfast. Say hello to, there's obviously Janet in the office. Say hello to her. Get a rundown of who's here, who's unfortunately pulled out. But yeah, just say hello. Work my way up to the commentary box with my notes. Say hello to Tony, who's obviously... Tony, he's a great guy. He spoke to Tony yet?
We have had a little chat with Tony, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I can say he's a good guy. I don't know how he remembers everything that he does. There's me with my book and my pen writing everything down, trying not to forget it, and he just remembers it straight away. So I do rely on Tony a lot for the knowledge and stuff like that. But from there, go upstairs to the commentary box there and just, talk, really. That's pretty much it.
Just keep on talking, that's the secret.
That's exactly it. Just talk, from the commentary box, we do see quite a fair bit, but unfortunately from Mere Hairpin all the way up towards Mountside, we don't see anything at all, really. So we're just, filling in the gaps. That's where knowledge on the riders is really important. So that's pretty much it, really. Knowledge on the riders. Obviously, we do that beforehand with the research and whatnot, but yeah, that's all it is, really.
I suppose that's a real difficult task for you as well, because not only are they coming full throttle through this section at the starting grid, but also for most of the actual circuit, you can't see them.
No, you're right. It would be nice to have some sort of cameras or sector times, something like that, just to give a bit of an idea as to what's going up top. But by the time you've rattled through, who's where, the times, who's gaining on who, they're already back with you anyway. So right. You've got to know, obviously, updates as you can see them at Mountside. Can't really see a whole lot who's where, but you can see gaps either increasing or decreasing between various riders and battles going further down the order. But it's certainly enjoyable.
So how did you get into this side of things? How did you get into the commentary here?
It's a weird one. My dad used to race, pretty much. My dad started racing in 1999, year before I was born. So I've always been in the paddock. I mean, I've still got the programme from the first race meeting I went to. It was Mallory Park. It was EMRA, East Midlands Racing Association. It was April the 16th, 2000. Was my first race meeting, so I'd have been 12 years old. And pretty much from there, just following my dad around the paddock, to be honest. Just, various clubs, whether it be Auto 66, Derby Phoenix, British Superbikes. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really. And then, racing has its bad sides, doesn't it, as we all know. But yeah, I wanted to stay in the paddock, but I figured if I was to get on a bike, I'd be far too slow and embarrass myself. So, what it was, my mum contacted... It's a really weird way how I got into it, but my mum contacted, BEMSI, the British Motorcycle Racing Club. They invited me along to Cadwell, which was 5 years ago now. And it just went from there, really. Yeah, so here we are.
Amazing. So have you commentated at other tracks as well, or is this mostly your home circuit for you?
No, I'm from down in South Lincolnshire, a little town called Holbeach, probably most famed for Holbeach tyres. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I do, obviously BEMSI, so a lot of the southern circuits, Cadwell, your Brands, your Donington, Snets. Here, I only started here, it was this meeting 3 years ago.
Wow.
But me and Tony first worked at Cadwell for the Sidecar Revival meeting, which was 2019. And from there, he's a little bit dubious whether to ask me to come here or not, because I don't know if you mentioned it, but there's a few, like I mentioned, the dark side of racing, unfortunately, here. But yeah, I just said yes. I want to be here. I love Scarborough. I love the people. I love the racing. I couldn't turn it down.
Well, good to have you here, Brad. Good to have you here. Now, we've spoken to a lot of riders this weekend about that word unique that keeps popping up. But what does make Oliver's Mount unique to any other racetrack? And from a commentary point of view, I'm really intrigued to hear what you think of this.
Well, it's just everything about it. I mean, where else in the country? First of all, it's a road race. There's no other one in the country. So that is unique about Oliver's Mount. The history behind it, I mean, this place, it predates Grand Prix racing. Of course, first season then 1949, first race meeting here 1946, won by Sid Barnett. But from the amount of people, the history, the place, everything about it is just completely different to what you'd get at like a circuit meeting or anything like that anywhere in the country.
Is that almost nice for you as a commentator because you can almost feel the history that's all around you here?
Exactly. Wherever you go, you can't get away from it. And across, obviously your camera can't see it, unfortunately, but across there, Barry Sheene racing here, with it being the Barry Sheene Classic, people like Giacomo Agostini, Jarno Saarinen, James Whittam, wherever you look, whatever decade, the legends raced here.
Yeah, it's literally a who's who, isn't it, really, Oliver's Mount? So, of course, this weekend, Barry Sheene weekend, how does that differ from other weekends for you?
I think it's more of a festival, obviously. You've got the classic bikes here. You've got things like the Gixxer 750s, the S-Rads, of course. We've got Tom Whedon on what's quite a nice Suzuki. But, yeah, it's more of a festival, just obviously remembering Barry Sheene for the legend that he was, double world champion. But yeah, it's all about the festival, the atmosphere, especially at this meeting.
So, go on then. What's your favourite bit of commentary that you've done? What's your favourite moment that you have witnessed? Because again, you've got a front seat to this. You can literally do what most people dream of, which is give us a narration of those moments that people remember forever. That's such a gravitas of a job.
I think you might be overstating it there. But I remember one point there was it 2020? The 2020 Gold Cup. I was like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, 23-year-old, nobody really. At that point I was, 20-year-old kid. And from that point there was, one of the greatest battles I'd personally seen at Oliver's Mount, which was 8 laps between Dean Harrison, and Lee Johnston. And, there's me, 20-year-old, second time Oliver's Mount commentating, going down onto the grid to interview Dean Harrison, Lee Johnston, I think it was Joe Ackroyd or Dom Herbertson or something like that, who's third place. I was like, what am I doing? How did I get here?
So what does the future look like for you then as a commentator? We always hear it from the riders, how their season's going, what their plans are for upcoming races. But what's your plan? What's the rest of your season looking like and beyond?
Well, I've got a few lined up for the rest of this year. Obviously, besides road racing, I'm also involved in like a sidecar motocross world championship, which is completely different to anything I've grown up with, watched, or anything like that at all. But yeah, I've got obviously the Gold Cup, which I'm looking forward to because it was great last year. It was great the year before. It's probably my favourite meeting, to be honest, here at Oliver's Mount, the Gold Cup. But yeah, a few club races in the middle there, just to keep myself active. But no, not a whole lot left this year, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the Gold Cup.
Well, Brad, I'm going to let you get back because you are crucial for the entertainment at the moment as there's no action on the racetrack. But we wish you luck going forward. If you do come and join us at Oliver's Mount, this will be the main man that you hear narrating all the action. Why should people come to Oliver's Mount? Not just to hear you, Brad, obviously, but why should they come here?
Well, besides listening to me, which is the number one attraction, of course, obviously. Yeah, it's just so accessible. It's as I mentioned, the only road race in the UK. You've got such big names like Dean Harrison, Lee Johnston. I can appreciate he's had a bit of an injury at Northwest earlier, so unfortunately I don't believe he'll be here at the Gold Cup, but there's so many big names, and as well as up and coming riders as well. I mean, even, I don't know if you've spoken to him, Gary McCoy in the paddock. I think he's not been here too long, and yet he's already well up there in the times, and he's going to be one to watch.
He's had a great season so far as well.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And say he's not here as well. Jim Hind, I think you spoke to him at the previous meeting. Maybe he's 23 years old. He's done the TT. He's been on the podium at I think it was the Senior Manx. He's definitely one to watch, as a new generation, and this is where they start.
Well, Brad, thank you so much for your time. This will be the man that you hear when you come and join us at Oliver's Mount.